हेलो। हेलो, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम।
यस सर, मैंने प्रेजेंट करना था।
बेटा एक मिनट बस, गेट होल्ड ऑफ पेन। चलो जी, कैन वी स्टार्ट ऑफ?
यस सर।
जी।
ओके। My patient Nasreen, 40 years of age, wife of Niaz Mohammed, who is 42 years of age. She does not have any formal education. She is a housewife, resident of Alandi, which is 1 hour distance from the Prime Hospital. She is married for last 14 years, para 3 plus 3, all normal vaginal delivery, last born 8 years back, last abortion 5 years back. Her last menstrual period was on 17th April 2021. She has been came to the OPD with a complaint of irregular menstrual bleeding for the last 6 months, postcoital bleeding, and vaginal discharge for the last 2 months. According to my patient, 6 months back, she was having her regular menstrual cycle, which she attained by the age of Menarche 13. The cycle was 4 by 28. It was regular, normal flow. She used to soak 2 to 3 homemade pads per day. There was a mild spasmodic pain during menstruation occur only first day of the cycle. There was no pain, bleeding in between menstruation, bleeding after coitus, or pain during coitus. But she has a complaint of a vaginal discharge. Initially, that discharge was mild in amount, clear in color, non foul smelling, associated with small itching, and itching in the perineal area. She used to take on and off treatment for that, and it does resolve. But for the last 2 months, she has been complaining that her discharge has been changed in characteristic, that it has become yellow, thick, pussy discharge, moderate in amount, foul smelling, associated with fresh stained red blood, and with itching and lesion surrounding, but no episode of fever. She has a complaint of a lower abdominal pain that is mild in nature, occur in the lower abdomen, throbbing in nature, occur on and off. There is no, it increases on changing posture and decrease by taking rest, and she is not able to correlate it with a menstrual cycle. This pain has been not associated with increased frequency of the micturition or the pain during micturition. Her bowel habits are also normal. According to patient, her husband has also complained of the itching at the perineal region. He used to use an ointment, sorry, any kind of a cream over that area, but she's not sure about the lesions or the discharge at the husband perineal area. The couple is having a monogamous relationship with one another. There's no any marital conflicts. They are living together, having their regular sexual intercourse. But for the 2 months, she's having a moderate, mild amount of postcoital bleeding after every act of the sexual intercourse, and that is mild in nature, fresh in color, bleed, and resolves by its own without taking any medication, and that has been also associated with a mild pain during the coitus that also resolves after some time without taking medication. The couple do not use barrier method, do not use combined oral contraceptive pill. They do withdrawal method. And the patient, my patient, belongs to low socioeconomic status. She is non-smoker, but she never had any HPV vaccination done. According to patient, 8 years back, there was some test done of her lower genital tract. She's not able to correlate whether it was pap smear or HVS, but according to patient, it was normal. My patient has a history of dilatation and curettage 5 years back of her two abortions. That was an intentional termination of a pregnancy. It was done in a local clinic. That went uneventful. There was no excessive bleeding, no any fever, foul smelling discharge thereafter. Up till now, the patient has taken treatment in the form of a 14 days course of tablet vibramycin and the flagyl for this vaginal discharge. Uh, but her husband has been never evaluated, neither her husband took any treatment simultaneously. Regarding her irregular menstrual bleeding, which is she complaining for the last 6 months, it occurred in a way that she used to bleed for mild to moderate amount of a fresh blood every 3 days, followed by the 3 days bleed free. Followed by the 3 bleed free days. It occurred on and off. She used to apply pad for that, and according to the patient, she just only did an ultrasound. It was found to be normal, and she just took 1 month treatment of it, and it was been not resolved. Otherwise, she and herself, there's no any complaint or history of bleeding in her family. She do not use any blood thinners. She does not has any complaining of a weight gain, excessive facial hairs, or hirsutism and acne. She does not have any complaint of persistent headache, change in vision, or milky secretion from the breast, but she has a complaining of excessive heat in tolerance, for which she has been never evaluated. She does not has any perception of a mass in abdomen, no any decrease in appetite, no decrease in weight, no any family history of breast, ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer in herself and her family. She has complaining of hot flushes for the last for last 6 months, and my patient has also history of a tuberculosis that was been treated about 20 years back, but otherwise she does not has any complaint of yellow discoloration of a hand and feet. She is and also my patient is known case of a systemic lupus erythematosus that was diagnosed 10 years back, and she has been controlled on drug, never had any renal or other complications up till now. She is para 3 plus 3 with she's a mother of two girls, one boy, and all were normal vaginal delivery, term, alive, breastfeed, healthy and vaccinated. And she had a one miscarriage. That was a second number miscarriage. It was one and a half, and went uneventful. However, the last miscarriages, two last deliveries were then terminal. Sorry, it was an intentional termination of pregnancy. Otherwise, she never had underwent any kind of a surgery. She's not allergic. She never had any transfusion. In her family, there's no any history of a chronic hypertension, diabetes, asthma, tuberculosis, and her sleep, appetite, bowel habits are normal. She's not addicted to illicit drug. Her social she belongs to a poor and low socioeconomic status. On examination, the young lady, adult age lady with a BMI of 25 kilogram meter square, well oriented with time, place, and person. Her pulse is 84 beats per minute. The blood pressure is 110 by 80 millimeter of mercury. The temperature is 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. Respiratory rate is 14. Mild pallor has been noted at palmar crease, nail bed, and the lower conjunctiva. No jaundice, leukonychia, chylonychia has been appreciated. Thyroid is not palpable. And no sacropedal edema. Breast looks normal with no any palpable mass in all four quadrants of breast. Chest having equal airway entry. S1, S2 audible. On abdominal examination, on inspection, the abdomen looks flabby, umbilic is centrally placed, inverted, moves normal with respiration, hernial orifices are intact. There was no any scar mark, visible veins, or pulsation. It is soft, but mild tenderness has been appreciated at the hypogastrium, right and left iliac region. No any mass palpable, no visceromegaly, and percussion note is resonant all over the abdomen. On local examination, the vulva looks normal, normal urethra, intact enteritis, and on sterile per speculum examination, the cervix looks congested, red, with moderate amount of thick, yellow, foul-smelling, pussy discharge coming out of the os, and has been sticked to the lateral vaginal wall. Endocervical swab taken for the microscopy. And on bimanual examination, the cervix is thickened, hard, uterus is anteverted, normal size, restricted mobility, tenderness appreciated during pelvic examination, and the fornices were clear. Summary of my case: 40
Okay.
years old, para 3+3, normal vaginal delivery with a complaint of irregular menstrual bleeding for the 6 months, vaginal discharge, postcoital bleeding for the last 2 months. History suggestive of husband perineal infection. There's a history of a two intentional termination of pregnancy. History is positive for treated tuberculosis 15 years back. Known case of a systemic lupus erythematosus with positive signs of premature ovarian failure. And on examination, BMI is 25 kilogram per meter square. Abdominal examination for soft but mild tenderness in the hypogastrium right and left iliac. And on sterile per speculum examination, thickened pussy discharge seems to be coming out of the os, and for which endocervical swab was taken. And on bimanual examination, the cervix was thickened, hard, uterus anteverted, normal size, restricted mobility, tenderness appreciated on pelvic examination, and the fornices were clear.
Sure. Investigation, beta.
Yes, sir. Sir, I need a blood group with rhesus factor, hemoglobin, total leukocyte count in cubic millimeter. I need her platelet counts and had a urine detailed report for the pus cell, red blood cells, and her and the protein glucose. I need her urinary culture as well, and I need her uh, urinary pregnancy test also, and the endocervical swab for microscopy, culture, NAT if available, nucleic acid amplification test if available, and her transvaginal ultrasound to know the endometrial thickness, regularity, any protrusion into the canal, into the endometrial cavity, and ecotexture of myometrium, uterine size, status of adenexa, and I need her serum follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, thyroid, prolactin.
Sure, good. Okay. What were the features of premature ovarian failure? What you looked for in this patient?
She was complaining of hot flushes, irritability for last 1 year, last 6 months.
So, do you think she's in premature ovarian failure?
Actually, she is known case of systemic lupus erythematosus. This is a connective tissue disorder and an autoimmune disorder. Plus, she has also complained of these hot flushes, night sweats, and also heat intolerance. So all these things collectively direct towards like uh, uh, autoimmune disorder. And in autoimmune disorder, we probably know that the premature ovarian failure does occur, and she is just 40 years old. That is
Okay.
why.
And did you take any drug history of this patient?
Yes, she do not take any sort of a drug except the last few days. She just took vibramycin flagyl, and that is it. And
What
another
about,
for 1 month is to decrease bleeding. Yes, sir.
so what about her status of SLE?
Yes, for SLE, she used to take that anti-malarial drug and other multivitamin drugs.
But she stopped
I
that.
No, she's continuing. She's taking that. She's on follow-up normal with her doctor, and she's having that disease is quite controlled with no any complication up till now.
So for that, she's only going to the doctor and taking nothing, right?
And taking drugs, yes, sir.
And taking drugs.
Yes, sir.
क्योंकि आपने पहले मुझे कहा था she's not taking any drugs. फिर आप क्या
No, for the yes, sir. For the SLE, she's taking drugs.
SLE की भी तो हिस्ट्री लेनी जरूरी होती है.
Yes, sir. I asked her. She does not has any history of thromboembolism. She did not had any renal failure. All her workup has been done and found to be normal. She has been never admitted in hospital ever for this SLE.
Okay. And now why are we doing her FSH and LH and TSH and prolactin?
Sir, FSH and LH, as I said, that she's just 40 years old. She is having hot flushes nights where she has a history of SLE. So it more goes towards autoimmune disorder. Probably she's going to the premature ovarian failure. That is why she's getting that symptoms. So I wanted to see this as well.
Okay, let's suppose they come out to be 20.
Come out to be 20. It means the ovarian function are declining.
So,
So it means her functions are declining. That is why she's having this uh, hot flushes and nights where that is why she's getting symptomatic.
okay, what about this TSH?
Yes, the TSH, actually she's also complaining of heat intolerance, and we know that again SLE is a sort of autoimmune disorder, and she might require treatment for her thyroid as well. So I just wanted to evaluate her, and because she has that risk factor, so I want to also take a chance to evaluate my patient on the whole.
No. Did you see any signs of
No, she
cardiac
was not having
abnormality?
any. Sir, she was not having any tremors, no any lid lag or lid retraction.
ये सारे चेक किए थे?
Yes, sir, kiye the.
Okay. So what about prolactin?
uh so prolactin, it's a good idea to do a prolactin because these are certain things uh, which are uh, uh, which have been identified by the single test, and it is treatable easily. So when the all other factors are there, it's a good idea if we do prolactin test as well.
नहीं, what do you think is कि what are you kind of rule out or kind of
So actually,
diagnose?
she has a irregular menstrual bleeding as well. So one of the differential is her anovulatory cycle as well after her infection. So simultaneously, after treating her infection, I have to treat her irregular menstrual bleeding also. So I want to do the workup as whole of this patient.
In one kind of disease is prolactin causes anovulatory cycles.
The prolactin itself can causes anovulatory cycle, because we know that the prolactin causes hypopituitarism, and ultimately the decrease in FSH, LH, and it depends upon how much severe the level is. Sometimes it causes anovulatory cycle, sometimes in a complete amenorrhea and irregular cycles. So that is why it's a good idea if a single test we can do and it is simple to diagnose, simple to treat, then it's fine. We can take a chance and treat that patient, diagnose and treat that patient.
So you think she's a case of hyperprolactinemia?
No, I don't think so. She is a case of hyperprolactinemia. But since the patient has that factor like SLE and hot flushes and thyroid sign and symptoms, so along with that, I also wanted to evaluate that also.
Okay, and what about this UPT?
UPT, since any woman in a reproductive age with irregular menstrual cycle, first thing is a pregnancy to rule out. That is why.
When did she have her last periods?
She had her last periods on 17th, I believe. Okay, 1 minute. On 17th April.
17th April.
Yes, sir. And she is having on and off bleeding. But she has having bleeding in the way that every 4 to 5 days she is getting spotting, followed by a moderate amount of a fresh bleeding. So it's totally erratic, irregular bleeding. That is why I wanted to rule out.
Okay. एंड आपने मेंशन किया था ये एक एंडोसर्वाइकल
So,
स्वैब वो क्या होता है?
Sir, endocervical swab normally we used to take in a case of cervicitis, like as I'm in this case suspecting the sexually transmitted infection in the form of chlamydia, gonorrhea. So we take a swab, rubbing over the endocervix, and at least we can send for the microscopy and cultures to know the result of it. So we could treat the patient accordingly. So this is basically I'm suspecting a cervicitis in the form of chlamydia and gonorrhea. So I took endocervical swab.
Okay. In which medium do we send those for chlamydia and urine?
Staudenamine medium, sir.
वो available होते हैं?
So that is why I said that I need at least microscopy, because at least in our labs we do have a microscopy to diagnose. Otherwise, after that, I would ask the laboratory that do you have that available media, so I could send a culture also.
Okay, and what do you expect on microscopy?
On microscopy pus cells, and if the gonococcus is then gram negative staining there, and would be visible at least.
Okay, there are normally how many types of discharges?
There are different type of discharges. As I said, this is type of cervicitis, purulent type of a discharge. Another is the vaginitis that could be in the form of a bacterial vaginitis and candidiasis, trichomoniasis. The bacterial vaginitis in the form of a whitish, milky discharge with itching, and that is a non-ST. This is not an STI. And the candidiasis is a thick, curdy discharge with itching and intense burning, and trichomoniasis is another for the green yellowish colors discharge. This is a type of STI.
So from examination, what do you think which type of discharge that she has?
She was having a purulent discharge, a pussy, foul-smelling, thick purulent discharge.
So in which category would we put that in तीन category?
Cervicitis,
Cervicitis,
chlamydia, yes.
chlamydia.
Chlamydia and gonorrhea, yes, sir.
Chlamydia का एक तो टेस्ट आपने बताया कि जी हम वो भिजवाएंगे उसमें एंडोसर्वाइकल स्मेयर में या वो आप जो भी लेते हैं उसमें और क्या व्हाट अदर काइंड ऑफ
Sir, and other kind of tests are basically the paraurethral, rectal, pharyngeal. These are other type of test also done in case of a chlamydia. But many times, but nowadays it is in belief that it's been too expensive, so it's a good practice if you do a nucleic acid amplification test once done, and it's quite easy to get, and reports are readily available, authentic. That is why
हाउ डू वी
nowadays
डू
nat has been preferred. It is a vulvovaginal. Simply, the patient itself can take it. We just ask them to apart your vulva and take from your and rub it across your vagina, and we send it for the culture. Or send it for the nucleic acid amplification test.
वो क्या डायग्नोस करता है उसमें व्हाट डू यू एक्सपेक्ट टू सी
So in that we see the DNA of that chlamydia and gonorrhea, and this is a easy and new way to diagnose that. The recommended way to diagnose a chlamydia and gonorrhea.
Is there any role of vaginal pH to see that during for these discharges?
Vaginal pH.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, in cases if the patient does not have that purulent discharge, then we can see it in case of a bacterial vaginosis, because bacterial vaginosis in case of a candidiasis, no, so only in bacterial vaginosis, because it usually occur when the normal pH 4.5 has been increased due to the 6 to 7, and then those normal lactobacillus, they have been decreased, and then these commensals organism become virulent and causes infection. Then we can do this.
What happens in this pH in trichomonas?
I think it also increases in trichomonas. Yes, it
So
increases in trichomonas also.
how will we differentiate?
Trichomonas is a microscopic test. It's a for the discharge. Patient has a pain, itching, cervix looks strawberry pink, puncti present over it. And when we take a weight smear, put it microscope, we found a flagellated organism moving. So then trichomonas is easy to diagnose.
So what about that इसमें you done for postcoital bleeding?
Sir, I first would like to treat the infection because the cervix is congested, cervicitis. I would like to treat the both husband and wife, get a husband evaluated, treat her done. And once they have been treated, I will observe whether the bleeding has been stopped or not, or still if they have postcoital bleeding, I'll go ahead for. Ideally, there should be what is called as colposcopy, but yes, Pap smear followed by the colposcopy.
When would we do this colposcopy?
Colposcopy has been done when the patient is symptomatic or when we get an abnormal pap smear, either it is low grade or a high grade intraepithelial neoplasia. In order to diagnose the histopathology or the abnormality in the cervix, we do a magnified look of a cervix to identify and take a biopsy and confirm it, the type of a sin or the pathology inside of the cervix.
In this patient, when will you do? When will you plan to do a colposcopy? Does she require
Uh,
to have
I-
a colposcopy?
Currently, I would like to treat her infection. If after
Mhm.
infection, I would like to observe the couple, if the both of the couple should be treated, if they have been completely treated of this out of this pelvic infection, then if they still complain of a postcoital bleeding, then I would send the patient for uh, refer the patient for the colposcopy.
Okay. What is your differential diagnosis?
My on the top, it's a genital tract infection. As I said, there's cervicitis on the top. It could be the and then it includes the sexual transmitted infection, that is chlamydia, gonorrhea. It could be the pelvic inflammatory disease also. She has a history of a termination of pregnancy, history of a tuberculosis, and it is unlikely vaginitis because there's no any BV, bacterial vaginosis, candidiasis, trichomoniasis over there. And second is because of her postcoital bleeding, again cervicitis, and after that the benign causes of the cervix, it could be the cervical intraepithelial neoplasia because no any lesion was seen at that time, and other it could be unlikely, could be malignant of malignancy of the cervix. It could be the uterine because unscheduled bleeding, so maybe the polyp, submucosal fibroid, it may be the endometrial hyperplasia. These could be the causes. And it could be also her anovulatory cycles because of her ovarian failure and the thyroid.
Okay. अच्छा अब हम let's move on to the management part now.
Yes,
Okay. हमने we did a scan. Scan turns out to be normal.
yes, sir.
अब आगे क्या करें?
If this can turn out to be normal, then definitely the infection treatment first.
Mhm.
As I said that I would like to counsel the patient that you have got two important issues. Number first is your acute infection, other is your irregular and the postcoital bleeding. So for your infection, I would like your husband to be evaluated and to diagnose the type of infection and the organism, and will counsel both of the couple that for this treatment you both need an simultaneous treatment would be in the form of antibiotics, that is
She's already
injection.
taken because she's already taken Vibramycin flagyl for 14 days,
But
and
sir,
it's no
it is in a recurrence because the husband has not taken simultaneously, and they are having their regular unprotected sexual intercourse. So she's getting it back. So that is why she need the both of the couple simultaneously need to be taken this treatment, and they should avoid intercourse at least a week after the completion of a treatment. And after that, I would also advise them for the safe sex and the condom, and if possible, the contact tracing and their treatment also. And then I would like to observe about their her bleeding, especially her postcoital bleeding. If it is resolved, then it is fine. It's probably because of the infection. I will counsel her about again for the repeatedly about the safe sex. But if it is not, then I would like to further evaluate her in the form of colposcopy and to diagnose the other causes of her postcoital bleeding also.
Which antibiotic would you like to give them?
I would like to
For
give
how long?
injection ceftriaxone state 250 milligrams IM, and doxycycline twice a day. for 14 days and tablet metronidazole twice a day for 14 days.
What, so she says she's already taken it.
But sir, she got
So
an
already
recurrent
like,
infection because of her husband. So if they were both treated simultaneously, they would definitely get rid of it.
okay. Did you ask her that when she took the medication, how did it affect her discharge? Did it get better, worse?
Yes, it was good. It got better initially, but again, she it get back to paseen in nature.
Okay. ये जो आपने you took the endocervical swab आपने लिया सारा कुछ लिया. Does that taking an antibiotic has an impact on that? Because she's already taken that for before that, I think. Yeah, she was
Yes,
already taking it during that time.
she took it last 2 weeks back.
So
That
she took it.
antibiotic.
Okay. Sure. Is this patient admitted in your
No, sir, she
hospital?
just came to the OPD
She's just from the
without any workup. Yes, sir.
And who prescribed her this Vibramycin Plavix?
Sir, she was prescribed by her nearby clinic.
Okay. So moving on, let's suppose ke discharge gets slightly better, maybe 20-30%, but still she has the complaint. She comes back to you after 14 days. What will we do?
Comes back after 14 days.
नहीं, आपने, how long did you were planning to give her these
14
medications?
for the 14 days,
14.
2 weeks.
Okay. She comes back to you after 14 days, and the
Mhm.
discharge is maybe 20% better. So what will we do now?
I'll ask her about the compliance of the drug, whether she and her husband were taking
Abhay?
it properly or not.
She says that
Because
she has.
they had taken. Then another I think then another cause of the cervical pathology. Okay, I will take a detailed history, do the journal physical examination, and put a speculum to see the status of the cervix, whether the discharge is still present there, what is the condition of cervix. If cervix looks normal, there is no discharge as it is now coming out of it, I would definitely take go ahead for other pathology. I believe for the pap smear and colposcopy, because next thing in her more risky is maybe she's having certain other pathology in her cervix, maybe the benign. Uh, then I'm
Like
more
what?
going towards I'm more going towards the cervical intraepithelial neoplasia about this patient, because the couple are having they do not have, they have lots of they have all the risk factors of CA cervix, like they have unprotected sexual intercourse, and these type of infections, they causes persistence of HPV, so ultimately the changes in our cervix. So I would like to reevaluate her cervix by doing pap smear, at least to know the cytology of it.
Do we do the pap smear with this amount of discharge?
No, if there's no discharge, then I would take
We
it.
need discharge. What did I told you? I told you that the discharge is slightly better, but the discharge is still there. So आप reevaluate किया discharge फिर दोबारा वहाँ पे भी है. फिर क्या
Mm.
करेंगे?
Then again, mm, it means that antibiotic didn't work. So I would take the swab and I think reevaluation of her. I would ask her compliance, husband or compliance, take the swab of it, and again send for the culture to see the sensitivity, whether the organism was sensitive to this or not. If not, then according to sensitivity, I would prescribe her the new antibiotics.
So why didn't you send the culture पहले?
Culture पहले, yes sir.
Initially
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Culture पहले से, because I sent the culture, but the thing is that we started directly the empirical treatment of this patient.
No,
because we
no,
know
no.
that whenever
Okay.
because whenever a PID comes, we do take a swab for the microscopy and culture and immediately start the empirical treatment because
Enough.
it destroy those structures, those tubes and endometrium and all those the pelvic structures so rapidly. So we do not want to take risk, and that is why we start empirical treatment all the way. But yes, of course, we await for the culture and modify our treatment accordingly.
So normal practice is this: कि we empirically start with the treatment, or we send the culture and start the treatment empirically.
We send the culture and then empirically start the treatment.
So अब आपने 14 days के बाद कल्चर भिजवाया, राइट?
Sir, mm, sir, I had my plan of sending culture before also,
वो
but
प्लान
yes, I
मेरे
missed
को
there. Yes, sir, I missed there.
ओके ओके लेट्स सपोज कल्चर की रिपोर्ट आ जाती है, नो ग्रोथ सीन, नॉर्मल
Mm,
फ्लोरा, सो व्हाट वुड यू डू नाउ?
mm. It means the infection is cleared off and the patient is still having discharge.
यस.
It oh, then it would be it means the cervical infection has been gone out because we have sent only endocervical swab. And then I would like to see the characteristic of what she is having right now of her this vaginal discharge. Maybe it is the BV, maybe it is the trichomonas or candidiasis. At least some sort of a characteristic would be seen of that. Sir, give me the characteristic of the so
तो
that the
आपने ही देखी
discharge to understand.
बेटा, वो तो आपने खुद देखी, यू डन द स्पेक्ट्रम एग्जामिनेशन,
So at the time, it
यू हैव
was
टेकन द हिस्ट्री.
mucopurulent discharge.
क्यों, ये कभी होता नहीं?
Yes, sir, that तो है.
फिर क्या करते हैं?
So usually we used to send cultures and see the report. If it still turns positive, I don't know.
ओके. ओके, क्योंकि हमारे अब सिर्फ 2 मिनट रह गए. एनीथिंग एल्स यू वांट टू डू इन दिस पेशेंट?
Mm. So tuberculosis testing.
Tuberculosis testing. Okay, why do you want to do tuberculosis testing?
Um, she had a history of TB, but that was treated long before. She does not have any sign and symptoms, no any abdominal mass palpable. So
और
I don't
अल्ट्रासाउंड भी
think.
इसका आई थिंक नॉर्मल है.
Yes, sir, ultrasound be normal hai. That is
फिर
why mm, I don't think so. It could make any change in management.
ओके फाइन. फिर एनीथिंग
Mm,
एल्स?
mm, no, sir.
चलो,
Sir,
बेल बज गई, टाइम हमारा पूरा हो गया.
sir, for the cervical cause,
मुझे ये बताओ आप, इस पेशेंट की कंप्लेंट्स क्या क्या थी, मसले क्या
this
क्या?
patient, yes, sir, yes, sir, mostly she had vaginal discharge, irregular bleeding. Mm, yes, sir, vaginal
आपने किस
discharge,
किस
irregular bleeding.
आपने किस किस को टैकल किया?
So we tackle the vaginal discharge.
सो व्हाट अबाउट द ब्लीडिंग पार्ट?
Uh, yes, sir. So I actually wanted to observe whether her bleeding gets stopped after this discharge or not, because probably I was thinking it is a STI that is causing her abnormal discharge.
ओके.
Mm.
अगर
Uh,
आपको किसी पेशेंट का एसटीआई का लिस्ट में, वेलकम बैक टू पिछले वाले एसटीआई में
yes,
हो,
sir.
तो उसमें कौन कौन सी इन्वेस्टिगेशन करानी चाहिए?
Uh, STI, sir. STI में, sir, I would like to do the endocervical swab for microscopy culture.
अच्छा,
That is, starting with this total leukocyte count of the CBC to this endocervical swab. So these are important actually.
सबसे खतरनाक एसटीआई कौन सी होती है?
Chlamydia,
और
chlamydia, gonorrhea, sir.
और
Syphilis,
जिसकी ट्रीटमेंट नहीं अवेलेबल बेटा।
HIV.
HIV.
चल अभी
Hmm.
व्हाट इज द मोस्ट, बताओ, डेडलीस्ट, जब एसटीडी आएंगी उसकी क्या क्या करेंगे आप?
Yes, sir. All other sexually transmitted infections should also be
उसमें कौन सी आती है मोस्ट?
hepatitis B surface antigen, hepatitis C, syphilis, HIV. They all need to be done.
दे
Yes.
ऑल नीड टू बी डन। तो
Hmm.
अगर तो ये आपके डिफरेंशियल में थी, एंड देन व्हाई डिडंट वी हैव ऑल दिस टेस्ट डन? इसमें मेरे ख्याल है एक सिफिलिस भी ऐड कर दो, बाकी क्लैमिडिया
Yes, sir.
ग्लामिडिया तो कर दिया आप,
Hmm.
क्योंकि उसकी implications of having an HIV का क्या है?
Sir, HIV decreases because as the immune system has been suppressed, so these actually diseases progress more in our body. That is why it need a treatment. Uh, I believe, and HIV itself need a treatment. That is why.
चलो ठीक। देखो, बात ये है कि दो चीजें थी जो इसमें आई डोंट लाइक इट। नंबर वन, ये थोड़ा सा अनयूजुअल सा केस इस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से था कि जब बेटा आपका एसटीडी में डिफरेंशियल में आ जाता है, तो ऑल दीज थिंग्स जो मैंने भी आपको बताई हैं उसके बगैर फिर आपका आगे चलना मुश्किल हो जाता है, क्योंकि यू आर नॉट ट्रीटिंग द पेशेंट एज अ होल। आप फिर वो डिस्चार्ज पे और उस पर सारे लग गए। नंबर टू, जब इस किस्म का पेशेंट आएगा, जो आपकी इनिशियल इन्वेस्टिगेशंस हैं उसके अंदर आपने हस्बैंड का एग्जामिनेशन और उसके जो आपने लेने हैं, लेट्स स्वैब्स लेने की ज़रूरत है या कुछ है, वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है। वहाँ आप हिस्ट्री में कहोगे कि जी कि आई विल गेट द हस्बैंड असेस्ड बाय whatever resource is available. If you can do it yourself, fine. If you don't want to do it yourself, then of course you will need help from probably a urologist, or maybe अगर वो भी अवेलेबल नहीं है तो एक सर्जरी वाले पेशेंट्स के लिए। और वो इस पेशेंट में तो इसलिए इम्पोर्टेंट थे क्योंकि इसमें वो तो पेशेंट ने हिस्ट्री, आपने खुद हिस्ट्री में उसने कहा कि जी उसके देयर वाज सम काइंड ऑफ डिस्चार्ज और देयर सम काइंड ऑफ वेसिकल्स और व्हाटएवर जो थे वो वहाँ पे हैं। तो ये आपने यू डिड ब्रिंग दैट इन, बट यू ब्रॉट इट प्रीटी लेट इन मैनेजमेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, क्योंकि जब ये चीजें आपकी हो जाएंगी इवेल्युएट इन द इनिशियल पार्ट, आपकी मैनेजमेंट उसके हिसाब से स्टार्ट होगी। फिर यू कैन नॉट ट्रीट द पेशेंट एम्पेरिकली, वो देके जिस तरह पिछले किसी ने वेब्रोमाइसिन दे दी, देके आप छोड़ दोगे। ये एक स्पेसिफिक किस्म का केस है जिसके अंदर इसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन के अंदर आई वुड सपोज कि यू नीड टू ब्रिंग इन द हस्बैंड पार्ट एज वेल। अब वो कौन से क्लिनिक होते थे वो,
Comes clinic, sir.
यस, अगर वहां जरूरत है तो उसकी वहां से भी लेनी है और बाकी वो लेना। और अगर आपने फुल फ्लैश करना है तो फिर वही वो डिफेंड करना कि जी हमने रेक्टल यूरेथ्रल स्वैब्स ये सारा कुछ करना है कि नहीं करना। सो ऑल दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स हैव टू कम आउट टू बी। दूसरा, ये अक्सर एग्जाम में होता है और कि आप पेशेंट्स की प्रॉब्लम अपने सामने लिख के सामने नहीं रख सकते। You and me, we kind of stuck up with this discharge thing throughout the discussion, और हम totally उसकी irregularity of the bleeding just by doing FSH, LH, prolactin करके हम उसे छोड़ गए, which is not, क्योंकि पेशेंट कंप्लेंट जो आया है उसे डिस्चार्ज कब से है?
2 months.
2 मंथ से। और वो एग्रीवेट उससे पहले तो शी डिडंट हैव एनीथिंग एल्स?
No, sir, she was having just only mild discharge. That was clear in color.
पहले एंड आई फ्रॉम द दिस कन्वर्सेशन आई बिलीव कि यू थॉट कि जी पहला जो है वो फिजियोलॉजिकल डिस्चार्ज था, अब आके उसमें कुछ काइंड ऑफ इन्फेक्शन होगी तो बेटर इट मूव डाउन। इज दैट राइट?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ठीक। और फिर उसमें आपकी डीडी वाज प्रीटी गुड। आई वाज हैप्पी विद द डिफरेंशियल डायग्नोसिस जो आपने सारे बनाए। उसमें आपने हर चीज ही ऑलमोस्ट काइंड ऑफ कवर करके दे दी। पर जब हम मैनेजमेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से गए तो फिर हमने उसको छोड़ दिया। उसकी रीजन ये थी कि मैंने आपको अल्ट्रासाउंड नॉर्मल दे दिया। इज देयर एनी रोल ऑफ एंडोमेट्रियल सैंपलिंग इन दिस केस?
Sir, not now because patient has not taken any treatment for irregular menstrual bleeding and she does not have that risk factor for endometrial
फिर आप
carcinoma.
क्या ट्रीटमेंट क्या देना पसंद करोगे? विदाउट हमने तो अल्ट्रासाउंड नॉर्मल कर दिया तो आप क्या करोगे विद दिस
Sir, I would
डिस्चार्ज
like
की
to give
ट्रीटमेंट?
yes, sir. I would like to give her treatment for her inhibitory cycle, like for 21 days progesterone. Norethestierone tablets will be given thrice time a day, 5 milligrams, but from day 5 to 28 days, and for the 7-day bleed. This is how I would give.
तो फिर यही मैनेजमेंट आप इस एंटीबायोटिक के साथ भी दे सकते थे
Yeah.
कि नहीं?
Yes, sir.
इनिशियली जब वो आई है आपने चलो वो देखे एंटीबायोटिक दे दी, साथ आप उसके मे बी प्रोजेस्टेरोन्स भी दे सकते हैं एंड सिंपलर मेथड वी कैन पुट हर ऑन ओसीपी अगर वो साइकिल उसकी ब्लीडिंग का सेकंड या थर्ड डे।
सर ये तो एसएलई की पेशेंट है इसलिए उसी
फिर
की।
ओसीपी नहीं दोगे फिर प्रोजेस्टेरोन दोगे? यस,
सर
क्योंकि उसमें
सर,
इंसिडेंस ऑफ
लेकिन
कैंबरिज्म बढ़
मुझे
जाएगा।
थोड़ा सा ये था कि क्योंकि इसको इतना ब्लीडिंग, शी वाज हैविंग सो मच पस के आई थॉट ऑल द रेगुलर ब्लीडिंग इज बिकॉज ऑफ द पस,
नहीं,
बिकॉज ऑफ
व्हाई
दिस
वुड द पस
इन्फ्लेमेशन।
कॉज नहीं व्हाई वुड द पस कॉज ब्लीडिंग? Do you think
सर
the source of this bleeding is not the endometrium, it is the vaginal part or cervical part?
नो, इट इज एंडोमेट्रियम सर।
जिस तरह की वो हिस्ट्री
यस।
दे रही है, क्योंकि देखो ना, जो सर्वाइकल होती तो जब आप एग्जामिनेशन में या तो वहां पे आपको अल्सर या कोई चीज नजर आ जाती,
यस सर।
दैट वुड हैव मेक सेंस कि जी कि वो तो अल्सर नजर आ रहा है, लेट्स ट्रीट दैट, फिर देखेंगे। जब वो सारा चीज क्लियर हो गया, आपका वजाइना सर्विक्स आपने खुद ही बता दिया, देन वी हैव टू मूव अप टू द एंडोमेट्रियम पार्ट या यूट्राइन कॉज।
यस।
उसकी फिर हमने टोटली हम उसको थोड़ा साइडलाइन करके चले गए। अदरवाइज आई थिंक योर हिस्ट्री वाज गुड। मैं तो आई वाज हैप्पी विद योर हिस्ट्री एंड एवरीथिंग एक्सेप्ट फॉर दिस मैनेजमेंट पार्ट। लेकिन ऑलवेज डू रिमेंबर, जब भी इस किस्म का केस आता है तो यू नीड टू ट्रीट द पेशेंट एज अ होल। आप सिर्फ उसकी फीमेल पार्टनर पे नहीं जाओगे और उस पे अपना मेल पार्टनर को इन्वॉल्व करके उसकी भी सारी इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके उसका भी एग्जामिनेशन बीच में डाल के फिर देन यू विल मेक अ मैनेजमेंट प्लान आगे जाके चलोगे। फर्ज करो आपको हस्बैंड की तरफ से वहां से क्लियरेंस आ जाती है कि जी उसको तो कोई अल्सर नहीं है, कोई असर नहीं है, कोई डिस्चार्ज नहीं है, और फिर आगे हम क्या करेंगे? एंड उसको करने के लिए कैन वी डू फॉर एंडोमेट्रियम की वैल्यूएशन करने के लिए फिर वो बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट था जो यू काइंड ऑफ मिस्ड इट आउट कि जी कि उसकी maybe there might be a small polyp in the endometrium which is causing this irregular bleeding। और जिस तरह वही का आपने कहा मे बी हाइपरप्लेजिया है, और मे बी इसमें पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ सर्वाइकल पैथोलॉजी बहुत हाई है कि इट माइट बी क्योंकि पोस्ट क्वार्टल उसको ब्लीडिंग हो रही है, डिस्चार्ज भी है, तो शी माइट बी अ केस ऑफ किसका हो सकता है?
सर्वाइकल इंट्राएपिथेलियल न्यूक्लिया
यस,
और कैंसर।
यस। और जब वो होता है तो उसको वैल्यूएशन करने के लिए यू हैव टू मेक श्योर कि जी कि हम वो क्या करेंगे, हमने कब कॉल्पोस्कोपी करनी है, हमने कब उसका स्मेयर लेना है, और हमने कब आगे चलना। सो ऑल दोज थिंग्स हैज टू बी अपनी इसमें डाल देते हैं ना आप, तो फिर आपका ये जो वट एवर ये केस जो था वुड हैव बिकम आई थिंक परफेक्ट। होता
सर
है इसी
लेकिन उस क्वेश्चन का आंसर क्या था कि if she has still vaginal discharge or same fluid nature after giving antibiotic?
देखो, उसमें मैंने वो इसलिए आपसे पूछा था क्योंकि आपने इनिशियली उसका कल्चर नहीं भिजवाया फॉर दिस केस। अब उसमें फिर आके दोबारा में भी हमारी एंटीबायोटिक जो है वो नहीं थी आइडियल, इट हैज टू बी चेंज, या कोई और हमें से करना था। तीसरा इसमें ऑप्शन होती है कि जी आपकी जो हमने ऑलरेडी, क्योंकि वो दवाई खा चुकी थी, तो मे बी द बैक्टीरिया हैज बिकम रेजिस्टेंट टू द एंटीबायोटिक व्हिच शी इज टेकन। पर ये दिस डू हैपन विद द वेजाइनल डिस्चार्ज कि वो पेशेंट दे डू कम बैक अगेन एंड अगेन एंड अगेन एंड अगेन। एंड फिर जब इस तरह मल्टीपल आ रहे हैं, कुछ और रीजन नहीं बन रहा, तो पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ इन दी सर्कमस्टेंसेस, अगर आपने हस्बैंड को भी ड्रॉप कर दिया, ये कर दिया, मे बी कि हम इसकी फिर डिस्कस विद द पेशेंट एंड प्लान हर हिस्टेक्टमी। और हिस्टेक्टमी से ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट ये है कि विद दीज काइंड ऑफ केसेस, जिसने स्पेशली, जो एक मैंने लिखा था पॉइंट में भूल गया, जिसकी इंड्यूस्ड अबॉर्शंस हुई हुई हैं पेशेंट की, उसको यू कांट लेट हर गो बैक विदाउट एनी स्पेसिफिक कॉन्ट्रसेप्शन एडवाइस और ट्रीटमेंट। वो तो एक मस्ट है उसमें। इन दिस केस मे बी मैं कहता कि जी कि अगर यही सारा कुछ है, और उसकी हम लेप्रोस्कोपी करते, साथ लाइगेशन करते, और पीआईडी को और ट्यूबरकुलोसिस को भी इंट्राअब्डोमिनली हम उसको मैनेज करके देख सकते हैं। वुड दैट सॉल्व टू प्रॉब्लम्स ऑफ हर? कि नहीं समझ आई मेरी
यस
बात?
सर। सर ये पढ़े रिपीट कर दें।
क्या कर दूं?
सर रिपीट कर देंगे ये बात।
ये देखो, यही अगर डिस्चार्ज हो रहा है और पेशेंट को, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि शी ऑलरेडी हैड ट्वाइस इंड्यूस्ड अबॉर्शन। ऐसा पेशेंट तो जब आएगा और आप उससे कॉन्ट्रसेप्शन नहीं डिस्कस करोगे, तो इट विल आपकी जो है ये क्या कहते हैं, पेशेंट की मैनेजमेंट ही कंप्लीट नहीं होगी। उसमें क्या कर सकते हो आप टू कीप इट सिंपलर, कि जी उससे आप कॉन्ट्रसेप्शन डिस्कस करो, उसे बीटीएल की कंसेंट करो, लेप्रोस्कोपी करके उसकी बीटीएल भी कर दो, और डायग्नोसिस ऑफ पीआईडी और पेल्विक ट्यूबरकुलोसिस, वो दोनों रूल आउट उधर से हो जाएंगे।
यस।
क्योंकि फिर वो
यस सर।
टॉप से आपका वो सारा कुछ निकल जाएगा, बाकी फिर हमारा ये रह जाएगा। तीसरा, ऑफ कोर्स यू नीड टू आस्क द पेशेंट जब आप हिस्ट्री ले रहे हो कि इसका परमानेंट सोल्यूशन या परमानेंट ट्रीटमेंट क्या है। क्योंकि अगर हमारा एक थोड़ा सा अर्ली हो जाता तो आप प्रोजेस्टेरोन देते, मैं कहता चलो उससे उसकी ब्लीडिंग ठीक हो गई, डिस्चार्ज बेहतर हो गया, मेडिसिन छोड़ी, दोबारा उसकी रेगुलर स्टार्ट होगी, फिर क्या करेंगे? ये फिर इसका अगला स्टेप है, व्हाट विल वी डू?
जी सर।
हमने 3 मंथ तक उसको दे दिए
हेलो
प्रोजेस्टेरोन, ड्यूरिंग दैट प्रोजेस्टेरोन हर
हेलो
ब्लीडिंग कॉर्ड अपना बिकेम नॉर्मल एंड डिस्चार्ज गॉट बेटर, वो हमने सारा उसका ट्रीटमेंट किया। लेकिन जैसे ही छोड़ा, उसके 2 मंथ्स के बाद शी अगेन कम्स बैक टू यू विद इरेगुलर ब्लीडिंग।
सर
हेलो
sir, again, sir, I think she is in her perimenopausal state. So again, she should not leave the tablet Primulet, and the soon she leaves, she'll get that symptoms back. अगर वो छोड़ेगी तो वापस आ जाएगा।
चलो, अच्छा,
तो
इसको और
ये
मैं आसान कर देता हूँ। जब हमने उसकी लाइगेशन या उससे प्लान करने के लेप्रोस्कोपी की है, साथ हम हिस्टोस्कोपी करके उसकी वहां से जरूरत पड़े तो बायोप्सी ले सकते हैं, वरना एंडोमेट्रियल देख सकते हैं।
यस सर, ट्रीटमेंट फील्ड है, यस सर।
तो वो भी उसके साथ उसका
एंडोमेट्रियल
मसला
बायोप्सी।
सॉल्व हो जाएगा।
यस सर। हम्म।
सो ट्राई टू कीप थिंग्स सिंपलर एंड पेशेंट डिपेंडेंट, या पेशेंट की नीड या उसकी कंप्लेंट्स के हिसाब से उसको थोड़ा सा मॉडिफाई करो।
यस सर।
अदरवाइज आपकी आई थिंक ये जो थी डिस्चार्ज के रिलेटेड हिस्ट्री, दैट वाज प्रीटी गुड। सिर्फ एक चीज आई थिंक कि अपना एज सच जो अगला स्टेप इसका जो था आपका, ये ऐड ऑन होना चाहिए था कि जब भी इसकी इंड्यूस्ड अबॉर्शन हुई, उसके बाद क्या उसको कभी डिस्चार्ज हुआ, कोई इसको फीवर हुआ, कुछ और नहीं हुआ। एंड फीवर की थोड़ी सी हिस्ट्री आई थिंक वुड शुड हैव कम इन थोड़ा सा मोर डिटेल रिगार्डिंग पीआईडी।
यस सर। सर नहीं था उसको फीवर, कोई भी डिस्चार्ज।
वही ना,
आई
वो
आस्क्ड।
उसको काइंड ऑफ होती थी, उसके करके करो। ये मुझसे अभी पूछ रहे हैं कि जी क्या हम इसकी जरूर लेप्रोस्कोपी और हिस्टोस्कोपी करेंगे? नो, हम उसकी लेप्रोस्कोपी हिस्टोस्कोपी कब करेंगे?
when she do not respond to the treatment, then we do
नंबर वन,
stereoscopy.
यस, फिर हम उसको जाके सेकंड स्टेज पे करेंगे, पहली में नहीं करेंगे। और और अगर वो फर्स्ट स्टेप में भी आके शी वुड लाइक कि जी मुझे परमानेंट कॉन्ट्रसेप्शन या मुझे
BTL.
स्टरलाइजेशन चाहिए, दैट वुड मेक योर लाइफ वेरी इजी।
Yes. Mm.
ठीक है ना, कि जब वो 40 के आ गई है, उसने 2 दफा इंड्यूस कर दी इससे पहले कि उसकी परफरेशन हो और लेप्रोटमी हो, तो दिस इज व्हाट वी काइंड ऑफ प्लान इट। सो दिस विल डिपेंड अपॉन कि पेशेंट आपका किस स्टेज पे आता है और उसकी जरूरत और उसकी डिमांड क्या है। पर इसमें सिर्फ ये हस्बैंड वाला बेटा, यू डोंट फॉरगेट हस्बैंड, और डू रिमेम्बर दैट हमारा कोई भी पेशेंट जो एग्जाम में आता है वो डिस्चार्ज के बगैर नहीं आता।
अच्छा सर, मुझे ये पूछना था ये सर, विच टाइप वो जो काफी डिस्चार्ज की कंप्लेन होती है कि द पेशेंट कहते हैं कि बिफोर जस्ट बिफोर मेंस्ट्रुएशन दे गेट एक्सेसिव वजाइनल डिस्चार्ज, सर ये कौन सा डिस्चार्ज होता है? आई डोंट
आप
अंडरस्टैंड।
बताओ, ये लिखा
सर
हुआ है
ये मुझे
इसमें।
तो नहीं समझ में आता।
क्यों नहीं?
सर मुझे तो ये था कि आफ्टर मेंस्ट्रुएशन तो बस कैंडिडियासिस और बैक्टीरियल वेजिनोसिस ज्यादा हो जाता है, उससे पहले आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इज इट फिजियोलॉजिकल डिस्चार्ज, क्योंकि वो तो बहुत अजीब कैरेक्टरिस्टिक बताती हैं।
नहीं, वो आपकी बात बिल्कुल ठीक है। देखो, एनीथिंग विच गेट्स रिकवर्ड ऑन इट्स ओन, जो खुद ही ठीक हो जाता है विदाउट एनी ट्रीटमेंट, उसमें फिजियोलॉजिकल होने के चांसेस उसके ज्यादा हो जाते हैं कि मे बी ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम। और दूसरा बड़ा आसान है, उन्हें कहो कि जी फिर आप नेक्स्ट टाइम जब आपको ये डिस्चार्ज हो उस टाइम आप मेरे पास आओ, तब आप उसका ये सारा कुछ कर सकते हो जो आप करते हो डिस्चार्ज के टाइम, उस टाइम एग्जामिन करने के बाद। और फिर भी अगर कुछ नहीं निकलता तो फिर आगे वो देखेंगे हमने क्या करना। चलो बेटा, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू
एंड
सर। सर एंड सर एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन, सिफिलिस की सर कौन सी टेस्ट कराएंगे? VDRL ही करानी है हमने?
बेटा देखो, जब आप एसटीडी आपने उसको कर दिया या डायग्नोसिस में आ गया, इन एग्जामिनेशन, मैं सिर्फ एग्जाम की बात कर रहा हूँ, देन यू गो फुल फ्लैज, उसमें फिर आप ना करो वो पूरा गम क्लिनिक वाला जितना फॉर्मूला है, या उसको रेफर करो या उसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन पूरी करो। उसमें ये HIV से लेके सारा ये सारा कुछ एक बार हो जाना चाहिए। देखो, ये वाला जो मरीज था ना, इसका हिस्ट्री बहुत छोटी थी, 2 मंथ्स की थी,
हाँ।
ये भी बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है। पर एनी पेशेंट जिसकी क्रॉनिसिटी हो जाती है या 6 मंथ से ज्यादा हो जाता है, उसमें तो आपने सारा कुछ वर्कअप जरूर करना है। इसमें अगर आप नहीं करते तो इसमें आप डिफेंस ये कर सकते हो कि मे बी हम ये ट्रीटमेंट देके उसको रीवैल्यूएट करेंगे आफ्टर सम टाइम, अगर वो परसिस्ट कर रहा है तो फिर सारा वर्कअप करते हैं।
ओके।
ठीक, ओके बेटा,
थैंक यू सर।
ओके
थैंक
बेटा, हाफिज।